It has been a while since I played around with my own bag. Playing a course that I haven't played in a very long time, probably over a year, and I've only played once, but it's pretty interesting, and we're going to play some pretty difficult OBs. We're going to be playing with my Disc Life Crisis bag. Shout out, these patches are available now if you want. I'll leave them linked down below, as well as my Disc Dad hats, which now come in 2 different colors.
There's also this colorway. So, got like oak and some green. Now, very dad hat vibes. I really like this design, so I'll probably keep restocking them, but I'm doing them in small batches, so snag them if you want. Back to the video.
A couple changes that happened to the bag, since many of you know this is my off-season bag, which is just for fun and is in constant flux. One is Clash Disc Wild Honey. And the reason this is in the bag is something that I'm going to cut to now, where we talk to Jordan, who was the one who named the series, and he gets to replace a disc in the Disc Life Crisis bag, and I can send him something. I'm in a Walmart parking lot because I'm driving home from filming, and this is a good time for him. So,
how you doing, man? It's nice to meet you.
You too. So, do you have an idea for what you want to take out, and if you want me to send you one of those, or just a signature disc or something, and then what you want to replace it with?
Yeah. Is there any way I could get one of your Sphinxes?
Yeah, for sure. I can send you one.
Okay. And then I was thinking, like, maybe replace like the Cloud Breaker or the Time Lapse for something like a Honey, something like that. Since because isn't a Cloud Breaker and a Time Lapse, they're like the same numbers, aren't they?
Yeah, the Time Lapse that I have is pretty overstable, so it's like kind of my overstable slot, and my Cloud Breaker is my straight one.
Okay.
The Honey would probably end up replacing the Strive, which I have.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, probably that.
Yeah.
Then.
Perfect. Honestly, you're like doing me a favor, because the Strive is I've been getting along with it, and the Honey I loved, so I feel like that's gonna be perfect. So
yeah, I love the Honey too.
Yeah, and thank you. Thanks for naming the series too.
All right, have a good night.
See ya. Honestly, big W. I love my buddy Kevin Kiefer. You know, he's not signing with Latitude anymore, so I don't have to keep the Strive in the bag. And honestly, I wasn't getting along with it too well. The normal Grand Strive I think is a little more understable and not as domey. So I just wasn't throwing it well, and the Wild Honey, when I reviewed that thing right before making this bag, that's a part of the reason I made this bag, because I wanted to throw it. And somehow the Millet and that Wild Honey, which are 2 of the like impeti for me starting this thing, are now in the bag. So it's perfect. Yeah, big shout out Jordan. That's a big win, especially for today when I'm playing against. I have no idea what this video is going to go on, but it's a segment that I needed to film, so. So, big shout out Jordan. He decided on the Wild Honey, and I'm actually very excited because I wanted to put this in the bag, and now from that review that kind of spawned me making this bag, I have both the Millet and the Wild Honey in the bag. The second and only other change is this tomb. I'm going to change it for one of these. We'll figure out which one today, but I have my Bodanza stamp. I really only talked about these like one time, so they haven't sold well because I haven't talked about them at all. But I have these on Halo tombs, G-Blend tombs, some 168 and 169 Halo
Emperors. I definitely said Emperors.
little lightweight overstable bombers. Classic Guava I think are sold out, and there's some Airs left, but I'll leave my Infinite Sight link down below as well if you wanted to pick some stuff up. But we're gonna play 18 holes, 2 off the top and maybe a couple of second shots. But like this hole 1 right here, we're playing that strip as the only thing that's inbounds. Everything else is OB. I don't know if that's actually how it should be played. I guess we'll play like left side hazard, so if you're on the path or left, you're in hazard. We'll figure out which tomb, probably actually this hole. The hole 1 is 275 feet, and I'm excited. This course has some pretty tight OBs if you play them how we're gonna play them today. And you know what? I think we will throw the tomb as our first off the top. Sit down. I think it's safe. It might have slid OB, but I think that's actually safe. All right, these don't count for my 2 off the top. I'm just gonna throw these ones and see how they fly. I think this Halo is the one that's gonna be replacing that one. I think it's even a little more overstable than that. Yes, okay, that's good. But maybe that means I should try the G-Blend because it's domey and less comfortable. Oh, it's also more overstable too. Wow, oh. I think we'll go Halo because I can forehand it better, and I want to practice forehanding a tomb because that straight forehand isn't something I've really bagged before, and that might be something worth bagging in the season next year. Oh, another new disc that you might have seen still is the Academic Weapon, just a weapon from Birdie Disc Golf Supply. 8502.5 are the flight numbers. Pretty straight, but also very forehandable. So I took out my torque for this, and I'm pretty pumped about that. Turned it. Really clean release. That was a little more overstable than that. One more forehand just to get warm, and then we're off to the races. I still can't get over that A3, man. Cannot get over that A3. Let's hope that first one was safe. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no, we are safe, thank goodness. Woo, just a little long. Looks like someone else came here, so I'm gonna have to putt this real fast. Take our meter off. 1 through 1. It's funny, I actually picked this course because I knew there wouldn't be many people here, but it looks like there's someone behind me. There are some longer holes, there's some trees, and kind of unexpectedly, there's green grass. I thought there would just be like gray grass or brown grass, but there's actually some green grass. It's also a course that I haven't played in a while and is pretty challenging, especially since we're playing OBs pretty strict. So I wanted to give myself a challenge with this bag and see kind of how much I've learned so far. Kind of almost want to just keep this S-Bun one, but this one has my stamp on it. So we're gonna have to throw that one in the bag. Hole 2 to that red, it's 396. Don't see any Mandos or anything. So I could throw the big hyzer. I think we'll throw the Gannon Cloud Breaker. Oh, shorted it. Really shorted it. Okay. All right, threw some extra warm-ups because that first shot with the Cloud Breaker came out a little fluffy, and then the second one did. Feeling ready now. Let's work on my circle 2 putting because Eagle and I are planning to film a video here soon where the circle is OB, but off the tee, the bullseye is safe. If you miss, you re-putt from circle 2 until you make a putt. So gotta make sure that I can drop some of those. Otherwise that video is gonna be very humbling. Either way, it probably will be, but I think the line I'm looking for today is 5 down or better, if I could. Okay, I like the line. That's good. I can work with that. Okay, pulled it a little. Putt's not feeling bad, so that's good. Playing the courses here, sometimes you forget how good it feels to play on grass instead of sand and rockiness. This might be one that's worth making a fun little intensely difficult safari layout. I got a couple of those I should make and bring to the channel if you guys want to see them. But on to hole 3, this is where the OBs start to get tight because we're playing in between the sidewalk and the creek again. Don't remember the last time I wore short sleeves. Play. Yeah, sick hole. 386 behind that tree there. There's also a little hill, it looks like, right before the basket. So you could throw a big spiking hyzer or something straight. You just can't drift off left and right. Luckily, the ground I don't think will have crazy ground play, so you could throw those like the hyzers and it probably won't skip in there, but I think I'm gonna try this millet slow hyzer flip the whole way. Or just throw it dead straight. Okay, it's a little short. That's okay though. I'm gonna warm myself up with this academic. It's just the weapon. I wrote academic on it, also as a joke that it was spelled with a K and some people bought it, which is kind of hysterical. But just remind myself how it flies. Pretty good reminder, I'd say. Beautiful. 2 through 3. Hole 4 is 426 to the red basket down there, kind of in the sun. Par 4. I'm guessing it's par 4 just because of how low this ceiling is. I do think there is a way to punch a big hyzer out there, but if you hit the tree coming on your way back in, you're throwing 3 from right here because you're never cross back in bounds. I think with the wild honey, that might be worth a try. Let's go for the eagle. Did I do the thing I said I shouldn't do? I might have did the thing I said I shouldn't do. I didn't see it come down. All right, let's throw a provisional. We're gonna throw a time lapse up that middle line and try to save a par. Oh, terrible shot. That's should be a 5 at least. I do wonder if it could be a roller with this Avenger SS, or just oh, this is the line I should have thrown. What am I thinking? That's definitely the line I should have thrown. Because it's OB, but way up there. I think we'll try this A3 just to stick it. Par? Oh, that is a pretty thick backside of that tree right there, which makes me a little nervous. Oh, thank goodness, I'm just silly. I parked it. I don't know how I didn't see that come down. This is such a good disc, man. That's a little 3-stroke swing. I am glad one was in my favor that way. This might be the sketchiest pad in the greater Denver area. The long pad for hole 5, Not to the basket in the light, but the one just beyond it in the shade. 351 feet. The wind is pretty minimal right now. So I actually think, I haven't thrown this disc a lot and I need to get more acquainted with it. The MD1. I feel like my play should just be the weapon way out wide and just throw a hyzer at it. But this, I think, plenty of disc to get there, should be. And I can touch a hyzer because I think it'll pop up, but it's not gonna be understable. Wow, it's actually more overstable than I thought. The MD1 it was much straighter than I thought. I thought it'd be a little more flippy, and it wasn't. It was very, very straight. Makes it almost better than the Buzz that it replaced, because the Buzz was a little understable, and this one really isn't. I have missed all my second putts today, and I made all my first putts for the most part. That's crazy. 5 through 5, pretty happy start. Well, 6 looks like we're going to that basket that's kind of in that gap through there. Don't really think it's a gap shot. It says 325. That looks so much farther than 325. I really don't think that's 325, but I'll throw a fairway driver. I'll throw this weapon and I'm gonna try to throw it like 350 on a hyzer, and that way I might be 20 long, but if it is as long as I think it is, I might be a little short even. Ah, shoot. Dang it. That was definitely longer than I thought, and that was way more inside than it needed to be. That is overstable if you throw it on a hyzer. You gotta remember that. I will have a par save. I cannot believe that this is, how far is this actually? Well, good news, I threw it way over 350, because this, I'm standing at 390 feet away from the tee pad, so glad I'm not going crazy. I guess I overthrew it a little bit too. I guess I threw it as far as I thought it was, but still a little inside, so take my meter in and have a 28-foot putt. I don't like that. Oh, dang. That's like 410 feet, by the way. Back to 4 under. I've now got a par, a birdie, an eagle, and a bogey. Except for an ace. Let's see if those are the only scores I can get for today's round. No doubles. Hole 7 to the red. 279 feet. I might try this popcorn. More almost of an upshot putter for me. It's so domey that it seems to me that it's a little slower than even the 2 or 3 speed that it says it is. It's also very understable. Like, my plan is to throw it pretty flat at that tree that's out there, because if I miss up my height or my nose angle, I don't want to fade left. But I also don't want to just throw it at the basket because I think it'll drift too much. Pretty good. Go in. Go in. Oh, so close. I did what I wanted. I pulled it basically straight at that tree, and then it just kind of immediately got on turn and started going that way. Here's this G-Blend tomb that you can buy on infinitedisc.com right now. Wow, the G-Blend's kind of overstable. What in the world? A little long with that popcorn. It's a disc that I'm glad I figured out, because I think it'll help me to throw deep putters more. I don't know if it'll help me putt them. Still something about that. If you saw the Alpaca and Emperor new Halo video, did not go well in the putting department. But throwing the deeper putters, it helps me like release them better, because it has to be a little more active of a release with a deeper putter in my hands, so that they don't really stick onto them. Glad I forced myself to throw it more, because I can throw it well. Just isn't necessarily my favorite, and that's okay. This might be outside the circle. Holy cow. That's so weird that I cannot make 2 in a row today. I think I'm gonna stop putting 2 putts. Just make the first one, be done with it. Hole 8, slightly uphill. Also slightly uphill run up. 411 feet. I think I really am liking this pushing hyzer Wild Honey. We'll keep whacking on this guy. Yes. Flattened it a little too much, maybe. Actually, maybe it's perfect. Maybe it's long. I think that's pretty perfect. Wow, I like that disc. This Wild Honey impresses me so much. I mean, this thing went 420 feet up. This hill's bigger from this side than it looked like from down there. Like, and it never got past flat. That's honestly crazy to me. I was so nervous about that putt for no reason. That is a disappointing par.
I got the penalty stroke on me.
Thank you. That's right. It's down there though. Have a good one, man. Old time was 245. A little bit right with that weapon. In my head, it's just the academic weapon. So if I call it that, sorry, birdie. I'm afraid of straightening out the weapon because it can glide really far, but also it is overstable enough that it's going to hyzer out. I'm excited to work on finessing that, similar to the popcorn. It's like something I'm not comfortable with, but can get much better at. That's kind of the whole point of this bag, so that when I return to a bag of a bunch of normal discs, or these are all normal discs, but discs that I like am going to be bagging for tournaments, I'll have kind of broadened my skills without hindering my confidence with discs that go in my tournament bag, because I'm changing so much during the off season. Not confident at all. I don't know, something happens sometimes in the middle of my rounds where I just get a little scared of making putts. The basket should be scared of me. 329. I think this is a great shot for this tomb, except that the tree's in the way. But maybe throwing an anhyzer with it and just letting it pan back to flat at the basket. That's a great shot with the tomb. Let's go. Try to work on my finesse forehand with this weapon. I guess not finesse forehand, but working to finesse my forehand. And that's perfect too. Let's go. Weapon, maybe about 15 feet. Tomb, absolute park job. I do really like the stability of these. These are more overstable than those S blends. It's like a very shallow, comfortable disc. Like, Tomb Gang might have been right. They might have been onto something. I didn't like it initially, but now that I've opened up my horizons and broadened my perspectives, it's a good disc. Hole 12. Looks like it's maybe about 330 feet. 433. Oh, I think it's because it thinks it's in the position, because that's the same basket we played to where I threw OB. 70 feet short. It's probably about 340 or 350. So that's how we'll play it. Maybe a little right to left, but we're going to throw this pyro. Probably throw it flat out there. Maybe touch a hyzer. Touch of hyzer is a little generous there. Okay, that is way shorter than I thought it was. Well, it's saying 330, so I guess I smacked that pyro a little bit. It is a glidier pyro, farther than I expected. Keep it smooth and loaded. Keep the wrist snappy. Ah, not snappy enough. Sit down. Ay. Probably went out right around here. I like this course. It's got some interesting shots and ones that I definitely need to work on. I don't think the time lapse is one of the discs that I'm like, ooh, if it could come out of the bag, I might be more okay with that. But that just shows me I should work a little more with it, just like everything else, and give it some more chances. Pulled that one. A3's time to shine. A little long, we'll take it. 15, 592 foot par 4. Going to the basket that's kind of in the middle. We played it for hole 3, kind of guarded by some trees. OB right and left. This is a good hole. We don't need to throw that far. I'm gonna wait for these people with these dogs to clear out. The key is just not finishing too far left. So I almost feel like I need to practice what I preach, throw this time lapse. If I don't like over hyzer it, but I just throw it flat out there, I'm sure I could push it to 400 feet and just have it dump out. So that's what we're gonna try to do. My tendency is just like pick up the really comfortable, nice feeling Gannon disc and chuck it on a hyzer, but this is the right disc because I need something knifing more than that one so that it doesn't skip out of bounds. Could also throw like the weapon. I think would be a great choice because it's slower. I like throwing the weapon here, and I don't like this one as much, so I'm gonna try. Don't do that in tournaments, by the way. Really don't do that in tournaments. Should be great. Yep, and it just got check skip instead of a skippy skip because it was a little more overstable. Beautiful. Exactly where you want to be. This one about 370. Not even quite the 400 that I was talking about, but should be more than enough. So my thought process in this shot is to throw the stable putter, the tomb, over the tone. Not the crazy overstable one, because especially throwing slower, I tend to not commit, and so something like that, I might fluff nose up and it just dump OB. But I could throw the popcorn here, because it's very straight. But I'd almost rather throw the tomb on a touch anhyzer at the basket, because that way it gets around this first tree and under the second tree. A hyzer is gonna lift a little bit into the second tree, and so for this to be on a little anhyzer, it'll be under the tree, more likely, if I can execute it. Sit down, That is my problem with those anhyders sometimes, though, is just pushing them a little long because their glide phase is extended over a hyzer. Ultimately, it's another good shot if you want to throw with the OB is the A3 here through that window. I guess that might be the best shot. And of course, I'm going to throw the popcorn better, but it's a little touchier. Those are some of the things that go through my head. Execution is always obviously the most important, but I guess it could also have been a little forehand too. Lots of options. Those are what goes through my head before I make an up shot. But at the end of the day, whichever one you feel like you can execute the best. 3 more holes after this one. Hopefully I can sink this putt. Should still be within inside the circle. And if I can get to double digits, be a pretty solid round. Make up for it though, baby. There we go. 16, about equidistant to hole 7 that we threw. Threw the popcorn well the first time, gave it an ace scare. Try the same thing again, but this time, touchy hyzer flip at it. Come on. Oh, wow. Once again, might as well throw this G-Blend tube. Stable guy. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, too far. This is a range that makes me more nervous than any right. Hole 17 might be the toughest challenge because we're going to the strip that we threw to on hole 1. It's gonna take a very good shot. We have ever so slightly a head right to left, and only that strip is in bounds, the rules I'm playing. I could try a big hyzer, but I don't know where that tree is in relation to the basket. So I think the play for me is gonna be the passion. Straight disc, so if I throw it, touch a hyzer to flat, it should stay on a very straight line. And if I can try, I'm gonna almost aim to land it at the pin, but like coming in at the pin. So if it aims a little, if it hits a little right on the path, it should skip in, and it'll be hard for it to go OB if I throw it how I'm planning to. But it's a pretty specific shot to execute here. How far does this say 390? 397, so 400, it's a pump with this disc too. Oh, did I do it perfectly? Okay, I think a little short. I was a little afraid of a lot of things on that shot, but overall, should be solid. I hit my pants on the way through. I never wear these type of pants. I think it's also collapsing too much, because if I keep the elbow out, it doesn't do that. But that's so bad. Elbow out. Better, but bad. Oh, I'm so disappointed in that. Disappointing when you execute very well on your game plan of a very difficult shot, and then the putter lets you down. That being said, I'm 10 down right now with 1 to play. 155-foot ace run to finish us out. Overall, really happy with this round. Really enjoyed throwing these discs again. I almost prefer these. I love playing battles, but my energy is just on making sure that the videos turn out well. We're having a good time, and I'm filming 2 people at once, so this almost doesn't feel like a lot of extra energy in my throwing. So I'm probably gonna be recording some more of these. Hopefully you guys enjoy. This is gonna be the send-off with an ace. I'll put on screen how many attempts it takes, but hopefully the number says 1. Now 6 in the circle. That's just craziness. MD1, baby. Classic. MD1 was the closest I got. Sad. See you in the next one.